It's Dave Johal for the Boxing Voice. Pleased to be joined by friend of the show and an S-Jam's CFO, Shane Watson. How are you, mate?
Very good, mate. How are you?
I'm good. We're on now the eve of what could be Tyson Fury's last fight, which could be a record, which is a record-breaking fight. 94,000 tickets sold.
Yep.
We're on the eve of that. We'll talk about some of your stable as well. But how you been? Last time I saw you, I think was Wood versus Conlan, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean that would be the I would have been the last time, I think. That would have been the last time. Yeah, great night. That was a great fight. It was actually fair, but yeah, the Fury Whyte situation. I genuinely think it is Fury's last fight. I think Tyson doesn't really want to fight anymore. I think you could almost see it a little bit in the Wilder fight. I feel like when he got dropped twice, definitely the second time in round 4, he kind of looked like, does he really want to do this anymore? Like, he didn't get up like kind of like in the same way that he had done before. And I just feel like at his age, he's been boxing a long time, turned pro at 18, had some hard fights, not too many hard fights. We've had quite a few hard fights, all those years of hard sparring, all that money in the bank. He's achieved it all. We've won every belt. Maybe obviously not been undisputed, but he's still won every single belt there is to win. Right, what is he doing it for now? Is it just money? Legacy's there. You know, like the only other guy to beat really is Usyk or AJ, the winner of that fight. Would he really get up for an Usyk fight? I don't think he actually really would. AJ fight might be something because I think there's obviously a lot of needle there and whatnot. But other than that, the winner of that fight, what else is there really for him to do? Like, I just feel like he's got 6 kids at home. He's gone through the tragedy of obviously losing 2 in the past. He probably just wants to go home and support his wife and be a dad. I mean, he always talks about how that's his favourite thing to do. I mean, he's happiest when he's at home with his kids, when he's training and at home with his kids. Well, I think he'll always stay in the gym and stuff. But I just think at his age, it proved it all. And a lot of money. He's never have to think about money again, neither like his kids or whatever in the future. I think he just doesn't want to do it anymore. And I think you can see it almost in the build-up a little bit. He hasn't been the same. He looks a bit like just relaxed. Maybe he is losing that buzz. Even though it's a big fight, and you think like you can never really lose buzz for a big fight, especially a domestic dust-up. But so maybe it's just not there anymore. But you never know. This could be all wrong. This could just be the way that Fury's wanted to play it. Do you know what I mean? Like, you never really know with Tyson, do you? And like,
no,
I'm sure he's said stuff like that before. But I really feel like he does actually mean it this time. I feel like the only fight he would potentially have still, and that could maybe like get him to do it one more time, is the Anthony Joshua fight. I think other than that. But again, that's overlooking Dillian Whyte. I mean, if he doesn't get the job done tomorrow, I don't think he'll be fighting Anthony Joshua really. So mine's got to be fully focused on Dillian Whyte fight. And I think it is. I don't think Tyson's kind of guy to overlook someone. And yeah, but I think it's going to be a great fight. I think people are overlooking Dillian Whyte a bit too much. He's a live dog in this fight. He's beat some good names. Arguably has a better resume than Fury. But he's vulnerable as well, very vulnerable. Dillian Whyte is, as we've seen in the past. But I have to back Tyson Fury. It's almost hard to pick anyone to beat Tyson Fury on his day.
Yeah.
And I'd back Fury to late stoppage. But with him coming in so light compared to his last fight, it's obvious that he wants to box from the back foot in this fight. Very obvious. So whether the knockout comes or not, I don't know. But Whyte is known for gassing out mid to late rounds. Will he struggle to stay in there? Will he get pulled out? Who knows? We'll see. It's a great fight, though.
I mean, with that as well, with Dillian not attending some of the original build-up, and then at the same time not engaging how he normally does, like when it was Chisora. Do you think that's a mind game strategy that Dillian Whyte is playing, or and also just on the back end of that question as well, is this his only shot? Because he's been waiting for, some say 1,000 days now for a shot at the WBC title. Is there another? I mean, we can't write him off completely at all, in my opinion, anyway. But where does the landscape lie if he loses? If Dillian Whyte actually, unfortunately, does lose, and
I think, as we've seen with other heavyweights, there's always a way to go. Jack has lost 12 times, and he still manages to land big fights. I think with Dillian Whyte, massive name, but he's getting older. Oh, he's older than Fury, isn't he? He's old. What is Dillian Whyte? 34, 35? What's Tyson? 32?
Tyson's back 32. I'm not sure about Dillian's age.
I think Dillian Whyte's 34. He's definitely older. And look, Dillian Whyte has been in a lot of hard fights. I can't remember the last time he did have a hard fight. Apart from the Povetkin 2 fight, when is the last time Dillian Whyte didn't have a hard fight? It's all like, when he fought Dave Allen, maybe? But like, he's had hard fights for a long time. Even like the Ian Lewison fight wasn't easy, and like Marius Wack fight made hard work of it. And like, when's the last time he had an easy fight, apart from the Povetkin 2 fight? You know, like, he's had a lot of hard fights, and I've seen him spar. He spars like he fights as well. I've seen him have very hard spars with Alan Babbage, hard spars with people like Tom Little and that in the past. Like, you know, how long can you do that for? Like, for your body just can't deal with that anymore, you know? Like, I think you're starting to see a bit of wear and tear in Chisora now. And he's a guy that's like the same, spars like he fights as well. The body can't always just deal with it for a long period of time. But I feel like no matter what happens with Dillian Whyte on Saturday, given that he gives a strong Warriors performance, which I think he always will, his AJ fight's always still there. I mean, people would probably pay to push Dillian Whyte, Chisora 3. You still know you're going to get a good action-packed fight. You could still ultimately get a world title shot. Fury vacates, that's an avenue. Probably wouldn't want to go down WBC again, in fairness to him. But then, like, you've got the Usyk AJ situation, and Belter can eventually break up anyway. They're not just going to fight mandatory after mandatory after mandatory, like fight Filip Ergovic, for example. No chance they're going to fight Filip Ergovic. So there will be opportunities there to have another world title shot. It might be the best opportunity to get one, because I think right now what we have, and I could be wrong, I feel like the elite is Tyson Fury, and he's kind of up there on his own, in my opinion, yeah, with Usyk, right? And then the rest are in like this other division, this other channel, like just below. And I think that could be a lot of their best opportunities to win a world title, apart from Joe Joyce, of course. But to win a world title.
I was just about to say that, because
I know, but you know what it is? The only reason why I didn't mention Joe, because I believe that Joe can beat them, but he hasn't had the fights yet to prove it. That Daniel Dubois was a great win, superb win, and I'm not denying that. Great win. That puts him right up there. And Takam as well. I mean, that's a similar opponent. Obviously, AJ's fought and whatnot. And Parker got gifted a decision, in my opinion, against Takam and whatnot. But the fight that's obviously him fighting Parker, Joyce fighting Parker, is that win that then can put him kind of in that place. Even though I know Dillian Whyte beat Parker, but he didn't beat him in the way that maybe he should have done. That wasn't a knockdown in the second round, or whatever it was. And if that knockdown wasn't actually given, it was going to be a 10-9 round to Parker. It would actually been a draw, that fight. That's how the scorecards would have worked out. But
I remember actually, we were there together, weren't we, watching that one? And I think Kevin Barry was absolutely disgusted with the result in the end, wasn't he? If you remember.
Yeah, because I mean, it actually wasn't technically. It actually should have been a win. Yeah. So like, but obviously, what's written down is what's written down. But and I feel like I could take him to that level if he beats Parker in the way that I believe he can be. Or he can do it. So that'd be his argument. But it's just probably not fair to say that about Joe yet, because he hasn't had the win. I believe it, but he hasn't had the win yet. Show it. Like, beating Dubois is a great win, but he isn't yet proven elite level, is he? So even though I think he can be, and I think he will be actually, but so that's just my opinion of it. And I just feel like if once Fury's at the game, and once Usyk just gives up his belts and just fights the big fights, I think that would give a lot of opportunities for the others to become world champions. People like maybe your Dillian Whyte, if he's still got it left in the tank, because you don't know when it's your, like, when, you know, they say like you can just lose it overnight kind of thing. It's a lot of tough fights as well.
But also as well, Daniel Dubois, I mean, he's got age on his side, hasn't he? So he could potentially be a world champion once, you know, the Fury chapter is closed, the AJ, Joe Joyce.
He's got bags of time. Yeah. The future of heavyweight division is going to be, in my opinion, is going to be Dubois. You're going to have, I mean, I don't know, how old is Hergovic now? Is he 28, 29?
Yeah, he's not even 30 yet himself. Babic is in there
Yeah,
as well.
he might be around. His style would be. He'd have a lot of longevity of his style because he doesn't really rely on pace and head movement, and he hasn't got the fastest feet in the world anyway. So
There's Anderson as well over in the States. Anderson.
You've got Jared Anderson. Listen, Johnny Fisher, Soul Dakers, in my opinion. I've got high hopes for them. Be world level one day. Like Johnny Fisher's obviously, he's got a lot of time before he gets there, as we all know. But I believe that one day he'll get there. He's still only a kid. Soul will have some big breakout fights this year that will push him on into the world rankings. You've got I'm trying to think, my mind's gone blank on heavyweights now. But you got Jalalov, like killer, absolute assassinator, mate. Like he's outrageous. Like I would never want any of my guys to fight that guy. Seriously, like he's just a beast. Like him, like there are probably some others I'm just forgetting about now. But yeah, there's a lot of like superb heavyweights like, moving forward. The heavyweight division is going to be in a great place in for years to come, which is good because with the whole Klitschko era, we couldn't really say that. But
I mean the Klitschko era, it was a dominant era, wasn't it? In terms of just, you could argue that the Klitschkos were a class above, and the opposition was just not as good as the quality of the class above, were they? To be fair,
I mean, the problem is with the Klitschko eras, though, right? And this is no fault of their own. So I almost feel like an idiot for saying it. But they were truly two great world champions. And listen, Vitali's name should be mentioned up there amongst some of the greats anyway, because that guy never even really lost a fight. Yeah, he lost against Berkeley's shoulder popped out, and the referee stopped it, and he lost against Lennox Lewis because of the deep cut. So you know, I mean, it's a good argument that he never even really lost. But like when your defenses are people like Pionetta, yeah, Solis, Tony Thompson, I think they fought him twice as well. Danny Williams, like not even in his prime either, like, towards the end. Like, I'll say the end, he's still going now, but there's some of the name, but Eddie Chambers. Like, no disrespect, Eddie Chambers is a good fighter, but he was never a heavyweight. And like, I mean, but these are just like, and Eddie Chambers probably one of the better wins, to be honest. Yeah, there was never any like the only true world. The only true world level name that I remember Vladimir actually beating was probably David Haye.
Yeah, when he unified over and was it Hamburg, wasn't it? Povetkin and David Haye, wasn't it? Yeah. Two good fights. But going on to one of your, I want to say a person that S-Jam is managing, and he's with Pro Bellum, isn't he? Darius Fulghum.
Yeah.
Got the win out a few days ago. How's he getting on? He's got a very interesting story as well, hasn't he? He was a registered nurse, had Olympic tryouts as well, turned pro. Talk to us about him and his transition from amateur and what kind of work are you doing with him, because he's ticking all the right boxes at the moment so early on.
Yeah. No, you know what? I'm really, really excited and proud of Darius. He's doing a really good job. I would like to see him at super middleweight for his next fight. He's got the power and whatnot. Like honestly, he's been stopping world level heavyweights in sparring. I'm not joking. Like he fought with heavyweight as an amateur and whatnot. Like, I don't know how he did that, but he's got so much power. He's great at coming forward, great at going backwards. So experienced, so relaxed. He's got it all. He's a star in the making. He's good looking chap. He's got good personality. He's got everything you would want and more from a fighter, and I'm really excited about him. I've spent a lot of time with Darius. I've been to both of his fights now, Mexico and Dallas. I think it's important for him to fight on a Pro Bellum show next, get the love and the treatment from his own promoter. Because the thing is, when you fight on these other guys' shows, which we've done both times now, they don't really care about you. Because why would they? Because you're not their fighter. You're not really their interest, not their worries. So like, they like kind of don't really give a shit, which I can understand. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily care about someone else's fighters like I would do my own. So like, it makes perfect sense. So we want him to feel the love and get the attention of like a fight week, fight on TV and whatnot. So I think it's important that Darius fights on a Pro Bellum show next. So that's what we'll do. And I'm just excited about him, man. For a second pro fight, it wasn't an easy fight for him. He made it easy because of how talented he is, but it's not supposed to be an easy fight. 5-1. I think he fought on the national team for Nigeria. Do you know what I mean? He ain't no pushover. He's a decent fighter. And his only other loss came against a guy that's like fought for world titles and stuff. Like, and Darius got him out there quicker than him. So, you know,
it's a good barometer, isn't it, to measure it? Very good barometer.
Sorry?
In terms of the opponent, a very good barometer to measure it so early, isn't it? In terms of
listen, I know how good he is. Like, I'm not even joking. The only reason why he can't have big fights now is because, number one, there's no reason why anyone want to fight him. There's no reward there. Number two, but I'm just saying, like, even if it was on the table, is that obviously we don't know if he's 12 rounds fit yet, for example. But ability and talent-wise, 100% at that level now. Like, no doubt about it. He's ability, and like, you see him. I know sparring is sparring. He can't take everything from it because they're not people who are not their best in sparring. That's why they're sparring to get to their best, right? So, but in the sparring, he's genuinely beating the living daylights out of world level fighters. Yeah, like world champions, ex-world champions, world title challengers, like the lot, like genuine. I really wish I could name drop, but I'm not disrespectful, so I wouldn't do that. But like, honestly, like doing good jobs on these guys all the time, not getting invited back to sparring, breaking some of their ribs and things like that. Like, it is crazy. But yeah, I'm so excited. He's only 25 years of age as well, and it's a crazy and almost a scary thing in a way, like how good he actually will get when he peaks. But yeah, no, really excited about him. Hope we're looking to get him out in mid to late June, at the latest early July. Get him out, and what I actually think, you know what, we're moving on to 8 rounds now. Just thinking of it now. I think 2 6-rounders. He's clearly way above that. Move him up to 8 rounds, and more money for 8 rounders as well. and which he'll like. But, yeah, to start pushing him. Like he's one of them ones. We don't need to wait around. Like, we don't need to fight 16 journeymen and fight for, like, I know that obviously he couldn't fight for like an English title because obviously he's American, but like fight for like that kind of a title. Like, he can move now. He can move now. Like, he actually genuinely can. The only thing it is building up his rounds. So he's getting that kind of experience, and so he's getting fit up in them rounds as well. He'll still be fighting like a good guy in his next fight though. He'll still be fighting someone that's like 10-1 or something. Do you know what I mean? Like, or whatever. Like,
yeah, we've seen it as well, haven't we? Where sometimes guys get rushed like sort of too fast, and then the end result is a career that could have been, for example. So
yeah,
I think what the matchmaking at this sort of early stage is vital for his career, isn't it? Because if it's taken wrong, then eventually I'm not saying eventually, but the ramifications of that could be a career ended, right?
Yeah, I mean,
we crucial.
That is actually one of my main roles, actually, is to matchmake the fighters. And it can be a very difficult task, especially for Darius, but I'm not with him all the time. It's a bit easier for the English lads because, well, I'm a train away from watching them train or spar. But when you live in Houston and whatnot, it's not easy to get there, you know. It's not as simple as jumping on a train, you know. But so it's hard to see where they're at in camp, so I can make my prediction on who they should fight, so I can match them up well. But yeah, he's been matched made well so far. Stopped the guy in the first round, first time. Got 4 good learning rounds in this one. But he stopped. Well, got him out there in 4. But yeah, like got 4 good valuable rounds. Shocking referee as well. I've got to say, one of the worst referees I've ever seen. But he said before the fight, right? I'm not even joking. Like, one thing he does not accept, and he seemed really stern on it, was holding. I was like, yes, good. Like, he will not. He said he will disqualify if you keep doing it after the first warning. I was like, shit, all right. So Darius, you better not hold this geezer at any time. Like, you know, hold him, right? Got in there, the geezer held for 4 rounds, like held for dear life. He didn't give him one warning. I was like, mate, what? I was like shouting at the commissioner. I was like, what are you doing? I was like, what are you gonna, you know, you're gonna like, you literally told us numerous times. Like, even grabbed my arm quite tight when he was saying it. I was like, okay, this guy means it. He didn't do shit. Like, fucking hell.
It's all talk, isn't it? It's all talk. I was going to ask you about some comments that were made. Would have been last week now, from Eddie Hearn describing the undercard of Fury versus Whyte. I don't know if you saw the comments about the Rolls Royce. It's like a Rolls Royce with no petrol.
I mean, I've heard the term, and I heard Eddie say that. I just think, at the end of the day, Eddie bid 31 million, right? So if he won that bid, It's doing that again, isn't it? I'm going to get out of this
You
room.
need-
If it did
you
that,
need a light bulb, don't you?
yeah, I know. I don't know what it is. You know, it did it the other day as well, but I don't think it's even an old one. But like at the end of the day, if they bid at the same amount as Eddie, which would have been 31 million, right? They'd have had a lot of money to pay around with the undercard. So that's Eddie probably could pay for a good undercard with 31 million, yeah. But the fact is, they paid 41 million. So that's a lot of money for a main event on English soil. Like, as much as you get a lot of money from the gate and whatnot, and you are, but listen, that's not everything. You've still got like you've still got the undercard to pay for. You've got to pay for the arena. You've got to pay for like the whole fight week, like the hotels, the press conferences, the promotion, like even like the silly things like the per diems, like you've got staff and that to pay for, and like it's a never-ending cost. And like 41 million just for the one fight, yeah, on that whole card. And then you've got to pay the WBC, you've got to pay the British Boxing Board of Control. Like, it's just never ending. Like, I ain't being funny, right? If we're all being honest, no matter what fight is on that undercard, no matter what fight, there's not one geezer in that whole arena that is turning up for the undercard. Hence why they sold out on the day of the release of the main event. Yeah, they didn't start buying tickets when the undercard was announced. They were like, they only bought the tickets when they had the main event. So like, if you want really good main events, then you're going to get shit undercards. Eddie used to say this all the time. Listen, it's not like AJ's undercards are unbelievable. What did we have last time? We had what did we have last time? We had the best fight actually the last AJ undercard was Marco against Foden, because Lawrence Okoli was in a horrible fight against that terrible cruiserweight Prasovic. The champion stopped
Who else did we have as well? Smith making his debut at light heavyweight.
The Campbell Hatton as well, wasn't it? Like,
let's be honest. On there as well, yeah.
Let's be honest, right? It weren't much better. Like, it weren't much better, really. Like, yeah, you might have slapped a world title on there, but it's like one of the worst ones I've ever seen. So, like, you can't really dig Frank Warren out. At the end of the day, he's paid up. He's paid up an extra 10 million. Like, Dylan White pockets an extra 2 million. And if he wins, I think he gets one extra 4 million on the upside. Tyson's getting paid crazy money. Like, you can't really knock the man. Do you know what I mean? Like that, but like, you can't say not afford to put the petrol on. He slapped an extra 10 million on the table. Like, that's a lot of petrol to me. 10 million, you know. Like, so I think that's just where they're out of it. And I feel like, what kind of good fights can he actually put on the undercard anyway? Like, Anti-Yard world title, he ain't gonna go and fight. Like, I don't know. I don't even know who's available really, but like a decent world ranked light heavyweight now, is he? What's the point in that? Like Dennis McCann, he's still coming through. I'm surprised he ain't on the undercard, actually. That's the one that I was surprised about, especially being a traveller and background and whatnot. Good fight. I'm actually quite looking forward to it, actually, against Ball. It was unfortunate what happened to Anthony Cassese against Romero. I mean, that was actually a good fight. Romero's a good fighter. But that's a shame. You got Eko Esserman in a British title defence. I mean, and I know you got like David Adler.
Echo on the card tomorrow? I don't think he is. I don't think Echo's on the card tomorrow.
No, yeah, it's just been added.
Oh, I see it. Okay, well, that'll be good.
Because of the pullout of that fight I just said.
Yeah. With
Romero, they've moved that forward because I think they had a show next week. They've been quite good at the weight, so they put it on now. So
that's good then. That one, that'll be interesting.
Yeah, it's a good little addition. Like, and obviously
the video, feel free to hit the like, subscribe, and share. As always, if you want to support us to the next level, head over to the patreon.com/ThaBoxingVoice. We have tons of exclusive from Border Wars, Entitled, betting shows, the list goes on and on and on. But in addition to that, if you guys have questions for fighters, trainers, and promoters, this is where you can submit them. We will run out, get these questions answered, and put it back on the show just for you guys. Appreciate it. Peace.